Welcome to the Brain Dump, where we study the psychology of success. Join us as we probe the habits, rituals, and routines of top-performing artists, entrepreneurs, authors, athletes, and more to uncover the timeless principles we can all use to take our lives to the next level. Are you ready to plunge the grunge that's been gunking up your mind's eye? Great, then let's get to it.
And welcome to the Brain Dump. I am your host, Anthony Vicino, joined by the one, the only, the man, the myth, the legend, my co-host, Austin Linney. How you doing, Austin?
Let's go, man. I'm pumped.
We are rolling into the very first episode of the Brain Dump. It is a landscape of brains out here. Just been dumped.
So what are we talking about here, my man?
That's a good question. I think, what are we doing here? I think that's both an existential question that we have to answer as individuals, but also as podcast hosts of this podcast, we have to answer that, right? So what is the brain dump? I've been talking to people about this, and I've been explaining it like this. This podcast, it's all about the psychology of success. Because, Austin and myself, we come from business backgrounds. We're real estate guys. We build businesses. And we have podcasts in those industries, and they're fun. We talk about how to buy a building, how to turn it, how to make lots of money. It's great. But at the core of it, it's all about the mindset. It's all up here. It's all in the brain, right? And so if you don't have that lens right, if you don't have that perspective in alignment, it doesn't matter what you do. And so that's what this is about. Let's talk to top performers. Let's talk to high achievers. Let's talk to athletes. Let's talk to psychologists. Let's talk to business people, whoever, and see what they're doing that we can start taking and putting into action in our own lives. So that's how I've been talking about it. How about you? What do you tell people?
Yeah, I think ultimately, I heard it said best by a buddy of mine. He said, listen, you can listen to all the podcasts about real estate, multifamily investing, wholesaling, flipping that you want. And if your mindset's not right, that stuff's just filler. And that's what it is. And so with my coaching clients, with everybody, we're trying to get them back to a base zero of how they view themselves and how their mindset operates. And then from that base, they can go out and conquer the world. They can go out, and those obstacles are merely seen as challenges because their mindset and psychology around said problem is better. And so, when we got to talking about this show, we were like, man, are you tired of talking about real estate? I said, yeah, I'm tired of talking about real estate. I don't want to talk about Airbnb anymore. And so for us, one of the things that both of us dive into is the human psychology of why they make decisions. And I think dipping into a world of athletes, doctors, these different aspects, these high achievers, we're going to find aspects of how they train their mind. I'm very intrigued by the way that Jerry Seinfeld sits down and writes writing sessions, thing like that really intrigues me, how over the compound effect of over and over and over again of training your mind on something. And I really believe that our subconscious mind controls most of what we do. And so you have to ask yourself, how strong is your mind and what do you believe in? Because those ultimately is going to get you to where you need to go.
I talk about this as think about your body, think about your life as a car. And the windshield is your mindset. It's the lens through which you see the world. And the vehicle that you're in, it could be a Toyota Prius, it could be a Tesla, it could be a Mustang. And if your windshield is cracked and you can't see out of it, it doesn't matter how great everything else is. You're not going to get to where you're trying to go. On the other side, you could have a really great car, but has no fuel, has nothing to push it. And so it's just dead on the side of the road. And you might have the greatest mindset, but if that car is not going, you're not getting to where you need to go. So you need to combine them. You have to have a fully functioning vehicle. And a lot of people, I think they make it pretty far in life with a cracked windshield. They can still kind of see through it. I'm from Minnesota. And so in the mornings when I wake up, my car, it's all frosted up. I can't see out the window. I make a little bit of a crack that I can kind of see through. Right. And I navigate the world based on that. It's the scariest thing in the world. But, that's just how we do up here in Minnesota. We're fearless. But that's all to say is that you can go so much further, so much faster, and avoid so much more of the heartache and the fear and the loss that's accompanied with driving around with a cracked windshield. So let's get the whole vehicle right. Let's start with the windshield, because that's, for most people, Most people are driving around with scuzzy windshields. They don't see themselves right. They don't see the world right. And as a result, they're not making the progress that they want to. And at the end of the day, it's all on you. It's all self-accountability. And so we're going to help unpack that so that you can start carrying the load.
No, and ultimately what's interesting is that we as people, something I was talking to somebody about the other day is like we base most of our decisions emotionally on a state of trigger, right? So you trigger an emotion and you make a decision based on said trigger. So my question to you is, and my question to all the audiences there, what is the decision actually based on? I would imagine it's based on a false narrative. And so if your decision is based on a false narrative, how do you actually even know what you really want in life? And so this podcast goal is to unpack the questions of vision, of mindset, of stoicism, of all these different aspects of who you are as a person, to redefine what an actual lifestyle looks like and what you define as success being for you and nobody else. And so it's very important to me that everybody around me takes time to understand the multifaceted layers that exist when it comes to the mind and body. And, we might have guys on that are great multifamily guys. We might have doctors that are successful business, but there's part of what they bring to the table in their mindset and their daily habits that creates, the rapid effect of business growth that's separate from how do you flip a house. And so that's like, that's the whole goal of this podcast, just to unpack those different segments.
You said something interesting there when you're talking about what is our decision making based on. And it got me thinking about Daniel Kahneman's book, Thinking Fast and Slow. And I don't know if you've read it, if you guys are familiar with the concept. It's that we have two types of thinking processes in our brains. We have type 1 and we have type 2 thinking. And the type 1 is very fast. It's very reflexive. It's the thing that's kept us alive throughout the eons. It's the thing that says, oh, I see a leaf fluttering in my peripheral vision. I should run away from that. I haven't processed what it is, but it might be a threat. And so I'm running. And so it happens really quick. It's subconscious. It's very instinctive. And type 2 thinking is the more rational, more logical. It takes a little bit more time to unpack what it's seeing, and it's trying to derive meaning out of it. And that's one of the things that makes us humans better than other animals in a lot of ways, is that we can actually do that type 2 thinking. Now, here's the problem, is that type 2 thinking is very hard. It requires a lot of energy and it takes intentionality. Whereas type 1 thinking, it just happens reflexively. And so many people go through their lives just relying on that type 1 thinking, just responding reflexively to the stimuli around them. And they don't stop to process and say, hey, why am I responding in this way? And I think that's where we get into the idea of like the American dream. And we get on this path that others have prescribed for us and say, hey, go to college, get a job, get married, buy a house, get a dog, do all these things, check them off the checklist. And people don't take a step back and they don't ask themselves, is that really the dream that I'm dreaming? Is that the life I want? And so maybe that's step one. Before we even get onto the windshield and like figuring out our mindsets, like figure out a destination that might be interesting for you. Because, where Austin wants to go is going to be different than where I want to go, probably. Maybe sometimes we want to spend some time in the same place, but his vision for his life is very different than the vision I have for my life. And so it's not something you can just borrow from somebody.
And ultimately, my question to everybody that's listening is, do you even know what your vision is? Because I would almost venture to guess that you're planning your goals, or you're setting parameters around your life that is for somebody else and not even for your own benefit. And it's so funny that you say second level thinking. My buddy who manages a ton of money for UT was talking about this the other day. He feels like he's slipped into second level thinking and he's learned so much more. He's retaining so much more because the purpose of his learning and aspects of what he's trying to focus on is actually ingrained in who he is as a person, because he's clear on where he's going in his life and his person. And so we're not asking you to be us. We're not telling you need to be us. We're just opening up a window to a world that is very complex. It's can be talked about in 30 different ways. And we love to dive into the aspects of the mind, because I truly believe that what you focus on, you get. And so when you understand that the subconscious mind is basically controlling 85% of it, the way that you talk to yourself, the things that you put inside your brain, these really matter for you to get the level of fulfillment and happiness that you're searching. And Are you following your purpose? Are you getting what you need out of life? Because if you're not, then these aspects and these trainings and these books and these people that we're going to talk to are going to give you the steps necessary, tactical advice to reprogram and reform thoughts that you have about yourself and create a better version of yourself.
I was reading some poetry the other day, some Rumi, some really old school poetry. And he has a line in there that just stops you dead when you read it. And it is, that which you seek is seeking you. And it's the idea that when the student's ready, the teacher will appear. And it's true. Like what you're seeking, what you're looking for in life, you're going to find. And so you need to be really careful and be really intentional about what that thing is that you're seeking. Because a lot of times we're just seeking physical pleasure in the short term, or we're seeking comfort or consolation in the short term. We're not thinking on the long horizon. And that can get into a lot of trouble, because when you're not thinking on a long enough horizon, then you're usually choosing things that don't lead to fulfillment. You might be leading to things that lead to instant gratification, but not fulfillment. And without fulfillment, life isn't really worth living in a lot of terms. Like for a lot of people, that's why they feel so depressed and sad and alone, is because they just living a life that's not fulfilling.
Mm-hmm. And ultimately, only you and who you are as a person can define what fulfillment looks like to you. But we have to peel back the layers of what you think you need to get down to what you truly want. And that what takes, psychology and mindset training and, how you talk to yourself and all these avenues of these different philosophies, and which I find intriguing. And, for me, my dream was always to sit on a couch and, study psychology. Maybe I do it in a different way, but I do love the aspects of the human mind. I was in the hotel wine sales business for 20 years, and you learn a lot about people in a short amount of time with that many interactions. And I just really enjoy it. And so this podcast for us is, a passion project to get to the root of the mind and to peel back the layers of the onions of different philosophies.
So before we wrap this up, let's give our listeners something tactical that they can walk away with. And it's just going to be a little bit of homework, because you've asked some really good questions here so far. Like, do you know what your vision for your life is? And I think that's a really interesting place to start. And so maybe, dear listener, you just take a little bit of time this week and you think about it and write it down. Just start jotting down, like, what's the vision for your life? Where do you want to be in 50, 60, 70 years? Do you have an idea? So just start brainstorming. There's no right or wrong answer. Get it down on paper. And then maybe even just shoot it over to us. Like, we'd love to see, like, what's your vision? Join us on Facebook, go leave a review. Like, we want this to be a collaborative endeavor. Like, this isn't just Austin and Anthony sitting in a room, pontificating about psychology and these things. We want it to be tactical and meaningful for you to be able to take action. So allow us to do that by engaging back with us and reaching out.
No, I couldn't agree more. And ultimately, this is what this project is a collaboration to send to your friends and, maybe say, man, that's an interesting take on mindset or psychology. And we want y'all to talk about this, and we want this to be a conversation piece. This is what this podcast is about, is a conversation piece that could start. And really what one of my friends told me that was so amazing, and I've stuck with it my whole life. He said, I introduced you to masterminds and self personal development, and I cracked the door open, and he goes, you knocked it off the fucking hinges. And so what we want you to do in your life is we want you to knock that door off the hinges for your own life. And how you do that is you get curious and you wonder and you ponder these tactical information and these books that maybe aren't the flipping book, maybe isn't the wholesale book, but it makes you look at your life and ask yourself, like, what is the fulfillment piece that I'm missing? And that's what we're after here.
I love it. So you guys have your homework. You know what this show is about now. Join us. We're excited to have you on this journey. It's going to be a wild ride. We're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to have some really interesting guests, and sometimes we're going to just not have any interesting guests. And it's just going to be me and Austin saying some hopefully interesting things, but sometimes not so much. But we enjoy having you along for this wild ride, and we'll catch you next week, guys.
'Guys. Got it. Thanks, guys.
Thanks for joining us here at the Brain Dump. Now, before you go, it's important to solidify what you've learned here today by taking action. If all you do is listen, then you're only going to retain a small amount of the information you consumed here today. So take a quick moment to really lock in any key insights, tidbits, or pieces of wisdom that you want to carry with you into the future. You can do this by heading over to iTunes and leaving a review with your top 3 takeaways from this episode. If you've already left a review, first, thank you so much. Second, it's time to start a brain dump journal. It doesn't have to be fancy, just a slip of paper will do where you can record a couple quick thoughts from each episode. Science shows this is one of the best ways to ensure long-term retention of new information. And finally, if you've got a brother, a sister, a coworker, or a best friend that you think would benefit from this episode, do them and us a favor and share with them this episode. Your support, as always, means the world to us.